Our Lunch with Kwena Moabelo, 12 to 3 p.m.
So, how many of you are currently working from home as we speak, right? The rise of remote work has blurred the lines between home and office. But in South Africa, those lines are legally important, right? South Africans living in sectional title complexes who choose to work from home may not realize that their daily grind could technically fall foul of the law. While answering work emails or taking clients' calls from your study is perfectly acceptable, using your home as a mini business hub, like running a salon, daycare, or accounting practice, could land you in serious trouble while you're with your body corporate. According to Sectional Title Schemes Act, residents must abide by their complex rules, and failure to do so could lead to warnings, penalties, or even eviction. Today, we unpack the legal implications of working from home, how to tell whether you're crossing the line, and what you can do to stay compliant. We are on the line with Patheka Primrose Malipale, director at PP Malipale Inc., to talk to us about that and understanding the Sectional Title Schemes Act, what it means, and also what sort of businesses, and what if they don't know? Good afternoon, Patheka.
Good afternoon, Kwena, and how are you?
Good, how are you on this Monday?
I'm good, thank you so much, and thank you once again for having me today.
Thank you so much for always making time. We truly appreciate that. And I think maybe we need to start by understanding the Sectional Title Schemes Act. What it is, what its purposes is under the, just briefly, if I may.
No problem. Thank you so much. I think briefly, the sectional title schemes in South Africa, they are governed by 3 acts. Right? There is what we call a Sectional Titles Act, 95 of 1986, and there is what we call a Sectional Title Schemes Management Act, which is the newest one, of 2011, as well as the Community Schemes Ombuds Service Act. So those 3 acts, they are the ones that are governing our sectional title schemes in South Africa. So to answer your question then, the Sectional Titles Schemes Management Act is the legislation that governs the management and governance of sectional title schemes. This is obviously to ensure that the rights and responsibilities of owners are clearly defined. So meaning when we talk about owners, we talk about the body corporate, which are the owners of the sectional title scheme unit.
So, and what would then the role of the body corporate and the rules for working from home in a complex, and let's start maybe with the role of the body corporate in terms of enforcing the rules for working from home?
You know what? I think maybe let's start with if you intend to either buy or intend to rent a sectional title unit, you need to understand that there is a body corporate. If you are buying, you will be automatically part of the body corporate. If you are a tenant, then you will obviously rent the property from the owner. And then again, there are trustees there. The trustees are appointed by the body corporate. So body corporate is all the owners in the sectional title scheme. They automatically become the body corporate. And then out of the body corporate, they then appoint trustees. So the minute you buy to a sectional title scheme, you must know that you will automatically become part of the body corporate. And then now you will be part of the election of the trustees. Those are the people that will obviously make sure that they are responsible for the running of the day-to-day affairs of the scheme. Those are the trustees. And then you must know that there is a managing agent. So the managing agent then is the one who's appointed by the trustees to perform this administration of the body corporate affairs. Because obviously as trustees, if you can appoint me as a trustee, I'm not going to be able to run the day-to-day affairs. Therefore, I would rather appoint someone who will do that on my behalf as an appointed trustee. So those are the managing agents. So those people then, they don't obviously form part of the decision making. They don't have those powers. They are purely appointed to make sure that they perform those administrative responsibilities of the body corporate. So now,
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Okay. So the body corporate then is responsible. So that is now the collection of everyone who is a unit owner in a scheme is responsible for the maintenance of the common property, which is shared by everyone, and also enforcing these rules. Right? And then coming to these rules, again, we have two of them. We have what we call management rules, and we have what we call conduct rules. Right? So the body corporate must make sure that these rules are rules that are either, if they decide, because remember these rules, you get them from the Sectional Titles Management Act. But you must make sure that they get approved by what we call CSOS. CSOS then is the Community Schemes Ombuds Service. So they need to approve these rules so that we must make sure that these rules are according to the Act. So meaning the trustees or the body corporate are not just making their own rules.
Sure. And that was my next question, Patheka, in that, so would then every body corporate of particular have its own different rules and regulations in terms of how people behave, or are there is the Sectional Title Schemes Act the overarching, if I can put it that way, rule maker in terms of how to behave within the body corporates?
Yes, the body corporates, they can amend. Otherwise, they can't just make their own rules. Yes, the rules are done through the Community Schemes Ombuds Service. And with that is why the CSOs must approve these rules. Because because remember, they are prescribed. Even if you take the prescribed rule and then you amend them, because obviously each body corporate has got other different things from the other, then you would like to add some other things like your fines if someone is speeding, the noisemakers and all those kind of things. But you need to submit the amendments to CSOs so that CSOs can approve those amendments. Because the most important thing is that these are restrictive in nature most of the time, and you don't want that situation where everyone is not being treated equally, or maybe where they are not undesirable. So you need to make sure that these rules are then approved. That is why, again, important for us, I'm sorry if I'm jumping to some of your questions.
No problem, go for it.
That if you intend to buy through a sectional title or you intend to rent, you must make sure that you receive the body corporate rules. Again, once you receive them, you must make sure that they are approved, because this is available to everyone. For the members of the public, they can go and double check stuff about that specific scheme, whether everything there is done accordingly, because CSOS is the one that oversees everything in terms of ensuring that all of these rules, either management rules or conduct rules, are all approved, and these are the rules that are actually prescribed by them.
So I'm just wildly thinking, Patheka, so if me and my neighbors, maybe we, all 50 of us, decide that it's okay to slaughter and do all these things, and we decide as people living in that complex or estate, wouldn't that be fine, or do we still have to go through CSOS to see if we can keep our cows and slaughter and all these other things?
Yes, correct. You still have to go to CSOS and get it approved. Yes.
Oh, so can they say no?
They can.
Even if
remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we agree as the people who live in that we have no problem with cows and goats and stuff.
Remember also, not because of that, because you must remember that there are other people who have different beliefs.
Sure.
So let's say out of the 50 of you, all of you are in agreement. But what is then the other laws in South Africa say about slaughtering animals? CSOS is there to make sure that all of those things are actually catered for. Because the minute you allow a certain scheme to slaughter, then it means that all the other schemes would want to know, why can't we slaughter? So if then the slaughtering is not allowed in terms of a certain law in South Africa, then they will say no.
I know that's a very contentious one, but it was the example that I wanted to use, because I honestly don't see why there's a problem that I can't slaughter in my own yard. But anyway, that's a conversation for another day. Today we're not touching on that. I was just being naughty using that example. But in terms of running a business, then, what would that be in terms of business? Because working from home, running from business, if I'm doing baking and selling curry from my house, is that a business? And should I also get approval from the body corporate?
Okay, so the most important thing here is for us to make a clear distinction here. Working from home, as I'm speaking to you now, I'm working from home. So working from home is different from running a business from home. Because that's where the whole confusion comes into play.
I see.
Because there's been a number of cases. In some cases, they favor either the owner or the occupant. But there must be, because especially when it comes to the body corporate rules, there must be a clear distinction whether the working from home is a problem or is not a problem, and the running a business from home is a problem. Because remember, the most important thing, especially if you are in a scheme, is it's not to disrupt the other's peace of mind. Because you don't want that situation where I'm home, I'm resting. Maybe I was working night shift, and during the day you are having your cars running up and down, collecting and delivering stuff. That is a disruptive thing, because I am home, I'm sleeping, because at night I have to go work. So the tricky part when it comes to sectional titles is the fact that you are not living alone. Because even if you are going to have a party, you will see in the conduct rules, it will say that parties are allowed, but from this time to that other time. And then again, you can't just party as if you are alone. So you need to know you are partying, understanding the restrictions that are part of that partying that you are currently doing. So meaning, if you want to have a party, you need to know, especially your occupants, if you are not staying there. Your tenants, they need to know. Your visitors, they need to know that we can only party from 5 p.m. until 9 p.m.
So what would then be the consequences of running a business from your unit or sectional title, as it were?
You know, the consequences is it's obviously depending on what you do, because some of the things, like I'm saying, I'm working from home today, so I don't need the body corporate approval for that. And if I'm running a business, then that's a different thing. Because then if you are running a business, you are being disruptive. So meaning that you would need to get a consent. Depending on whether they are flexible on that, yes, they can give you consent. But if it's not part of the body corporate as well, the body corporate rules, it means that you can't just do that. For example, you can't just run a business without obtaining such a consent. And if it happened that you actually did that, it means that they will send you a notice first and say, you know what, you are in breach of the body corporate rules, and we are demanding that you cease whatever the activity that you are currently doing as a business. And obviously, depending on how you respond, then they will issue a fine. Some they will go as far as having a court application done against you, because they will then view that conduct or that activity as being unlawful because of the fact that it does not go according to the conduct rules or the management rules of the body corporate.
Got a question from Tepo, who says, since we all have different schemes, does this law include the homeowners association?
Correct, it does.
Okay, and let's take a call from Emmanuel in Pretoria. Good afternoon, Emmanuel.
Afternoon, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Quick question here. Under Homeowners Association full title stands, then do the directors have powers to block me if I want to do an Airbnb?
Okay, Pateka?
Very interesting on this one. Not as much as I won't dwell much on the case. There was a case, I think, earlier this year, or a few months ago. But that case, we can't obviously talk much about it because it is on appeal. because that's where the Airbnb style of rental was then being brought forward. And the court, in this case, at the High Court before the appeal, they ruled in favor of the homeowners association. However, the whole thing has been taken to appeal. So we can't talk much about that. But the most important thing on Airbnbs is to understand that, one, it's a short-term rental, right? And because it's a short-term rental, you don't know that person, if for example, that person is coming to do business or is coming to have a stay or whatever. So the most important thing, once there is a community, we must not disrupt, and also we must make sure that we respect each other's rights because of the fact that we are in a scheme. So we can't just, because I know that the most important thing that was said in that case was there is a disruptive, the Airbnb is a disruptive effect on the comp. So they are trying to make sure that that does not happen because they are within the community. So I know with that, a lot of others are flexible, but some they are just not flexible.
Mm. And I think it comes down to knowing and understanding the home owners or the body corporate rules and regulations that makes it easy for you to do that. Because I know that some complexes may allow low impact office type work under specific conditions. Again, as I said, if I'm doing office work and you can't even tell whether I'm doing that from home, that does not disturb anybody. I can't. There's no problem if I'm at 9 to 5. I'm at home. I'm on my laptop. I'm doing business, and then that's it. It doesn't disturb anybody. So
it does not disturb anybody. And then also, what I would also encourage is that CISOS is there, because CISOS, if you go to CISOS website, you will get everything you want to know. Because also I understand that either it's a homeowners association or it's a sectional type scheme, they both have the rules as the management rules as well as the conduct rules. And then within those rules again, they need to make sure that all of those rules are actually approved, and then also they need to make sure that they understand what is it, because remember that they can go to CISOS and report if there is anything that they feel, you know what, it is not according to what CISOS is encouraging, that is the harmonious living of the community. And then maybe the body corporate is just being too strict in terms of their rules, and then they can touch base with CISOS to make sure that, you know what, if this rule is being imposed on us, is this rule according to the Act or not? And CISOS will be able to rule on that and making sure that there is no body corporate who just comes out with their own rules, because all of the rules that they can, because remember, the body corporate is allowed to amend, but that amendment must be approved.
We've got another question from Mulewa in Brits. Good afternoon.
Hi, Kwena. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay. My question is on the issue of, the town planning scheme of the municipality versus the homeowners association rules. Which one is above the other?
Okay, Pateka, did you get that?
Okay, can you repeat that for me?
Mulewa?
Hello?
Could you repeat the question, please? Mulewa, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Yes.
I can hear you, Kwena.
Yes, what's your question?
My question is, there is rules for a homeowners association,
yes.
And then there's also town planning schemes that regulate businesses from homes, like your Airbnb and any other lodges within a home. Now, which one is overriding the other?
All right. Did you get that, Pateka?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I did get that. Okay, on the town planning scheme, because remember the town planning scheme now, we are talking about the freestands, that is the standalone houses. So when we talk about town planning scheme, we're checking if the actual property, which is a freestand, it is zoned for either residential use or mixed use. And also that is talking about the land use permission by the municipality. And also all the municipalities, they differ in terms of what is permitted to the owner or the occupier of a property to operate as a business from that home. So the municipality then, because remember the municipality does the rezoning of the property. So with the rezoning of the property, that's when you will know that you are allowed or not allowed. Remember also, whatever it is that you would want to do in that freestand, it means that you will again, not the body corporate this time, but the municipality, go and obtain consent from the municipality so that you can be permitted to do whatever or to operate any business from home. Remember again, the distinction here is that there is a working from home and there is an operating of the business from home. So working from home, it doesn't seem to be much of an issue, but the operation of the business from home is the one that seems to be a bigger issue.
All right. We are in conversation with Phatheka Malipale. We are talking about the legal ramifications of working from home. We're going to wrap up that conversation just after this.
Send us your voice notes on 083-303-7093.
Okay. Voice note? No? Okay, we'll try and get that voice note again, but we are now wrapping up the conversation with Phatheka Malipale, director at Malipale Inc., as we talk about the legal ramifications of working from home. And I think as we wrap up the conversation, Phatheka, what would be your key advice to people that maybe might not know how to deal with this? Is it just about making sure that you know the rules and regulations of your body corporate?
Yes, the most important thing is to check the body corporate rules. If you wish to buy from a sectional title scheme, and then if you wish to buy from a freestand, again check the relevant town planning scheme in terms of the relevant zoning as well as the land use permission in that property. That is if your intention it is to operate a business from home. Because remember, when you operate a business, businesses differ because there's a business of baking, there's a business of, doing only deliveries, there's a business of, that business where you know that you're going to make noise within the scheme or within the community. So those are the kind of businesses where maybe the body corporate might say no because of the fact that it will disturb other people's peace.
Yeah.
Whilst they are trying to rest at homes, because some of them are working night shift and some they are working day shift and all of that. So it differs. But the most important, which is the bottom line, is that if you wish to either rent or to buy a property, whether it is a freestand or a sectional title scheme, make sure under the sectional title scheme you check the body corporate rules, and also not only to receive the body corporate rules, to check if they are approved, because sometimes you will get those body corporates that are just having rules that are not approved by CISOs. So you need to make sure that those rules are approved by CISOs, and so that you must know that the intention of you renting in a unit, it is either to work from home or to run a business. And if running a business, then is that business going to be allowed by the body corporate?
We're going to try and squeeze in that voice note if we can. Let's try one more time.
Kwena, good afternoon.
Sure.
Nagere, black people, stay away from these things because they are so problematic. This sectional titles in Tonton, they are a lot of hogwash, and they'll cost you a lot of headaches and heartaches.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused because isn't it part of buying property that you will have to go through those things, Phatheka?
No, it is, because it doesn't matter whether you are buying a sectional title unit or you are buying a freestand. Remember, in a freestand, there's zoning rights. So you can't just do as you please even there. There's a municipality, because remember, a municipality also will give you a notice should you conduct a certain business there that is not allowed in terms of the land use management. So you must make sure that consent is obtained.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Phatheka, very quickly, for people that want to find out more about you guys, get in touch. Where and how do they do that?
You'll get in touch with us at PP Malipale Inc. on our website. And then also, you can catch us on TikTok, you can catch us on Instagram, you can catch us on Facebook. And our landline is 011-568-0492. And our WhatsApp number is 072-5777-238.
Pateka Malipale, Director at PP Malipale Inc. Thank you so much for coming through to speak to us.